Halloween was always a special holiday for me growing up, like many others out there, I'm sure. Always trying to outdo yourself each year with a bigger and bigger take of candy while also coming up with more elaborate and imaginative costumes. My most memorable Halloweens were always the ones that I spent with my friends, but most years I was stuck dragging around my younger sister. Hey there everyone, this is Ray Carcillo with Classic Game Room, and today we're looking at Costume Quest for the Xbox Live Arcade from Tim Schafer's Double Fine Productions and THQ. Costume Quest is the title that immediately brought back a lot of childhood memories for me, as it opens up in your typical American household with a pair of siblings who, much like me and my sister were, are forced to go trick-or-treating together. After choosing which of the siblings you wish to control, you don your homemade costumes, your character being a super awesome blue robot, and the other being a cheesy giant candy corn. Once you head out onto the street, you begin going door to door, just like when you were a kid. But when you ring the bell of one door, you're met not by a friendly adult, but by a very real, very gruesome-looking goblin creature that snatches up your candy corn sibling, thinking it's the greatest piece of candy ever. Thus begins the adventure of Costume Quest, as you must race to save your sibling from the horde of candy-gobbling goblins and find out why they are invading your world on this most precious of holidays. Costume Quest plays like a standard RPG with the twist of happening on Halloween. Although you may have lost your sibling, you are still determined to get as much candy as possible, and so a good portion of the game has you actually going door to door to collect candy. Not every home, though, is safe, and if occupied by one of the goblin-like creatures, you'll be transported to a giant arena where you must face off against the gruesome creature and its brethren. But what can a kid in a cardboard costume possibly do against the likes of goblins, witches, and other monstrosities? Whatever magic has unleashed these terrors onto your world has also imbued your costume, and any other you acquire on your journey, with real power. So, when transported to the battle arena for some classic turn-based RPG fun, your costume becomes real. Whether using the missiles of your robot costume, an army of bats with a vampire costume, the sword and shield with a knight costume, the lightsaber of a space adventurer, or any of the other costumes you'll come across in the game, the odds are a lot more even than these goblin terrors might expect. Your costumes also have real-world properties that need to be exploited to beat the game. The space adventurer's lightsaber, for example, can light dark pathways, and the robot has rollerblades to move faster. Or the ninja can sneak past enemy guards using ninja stealth. You can also make friends over the course of the game and increase your party size for up to 3 members to help take down the enemies you'll face, and of course switch costumes with them to put together a truly fearsome-looking offense. Although RPGs usually require a great deal of strategy, Costume Quest is really very simple and straightforward. In fact, I'd be surprised if any enemies besides the final boss give you any trouble. You have one basic attack per costume, one special attack that takes 3 turns to build up, and one stun attack that is optional, since those attacks can only be acquired via a hold item. And since each character can only hold one item at a time, most of the time, the stun attack isn't really necessary. You'll be much better served holding something that increases attack, defense, or hit points. Who needs to throw rotten eggs anyway when I have rocket fists? Like most standard RPGs, you can activate critical hits by timing your moves correctly. Whether mashing a button or waiting for the proper button prompt, the critical hits in this game are also far easier than in most other RPGs. The same goes for defending against enemy maneuvers, and as you learn each costume, it'll be like second nature timing its criticals. The graphics for Costume Quest are solid and have a cute, cartoony look to them to help go with the strong kids-oriented theme of the game. There's no voice acting to speak of, but the music and sound effects help to reinforce the cute kiddie feel. With a lot of side quests and costumes to collect, you would think there's some replay value to Costume Quest, considering you can go back and replay any of the 3 levels once you gain access to them, but anyone with any RPG experience will likely be able to complete all the quests on your first playthrough. Because of this, and with the very repetitive gameplay of Costume Quest, you're probably in for a 6 to 8 hour experience overall. In fact, a truly rare feat, I was actually able to acquire every single achievement in Costume Quest on a single playthrough, no problems whatsoever. Clearly, Costume Quest is a game geared more for younger players, But if you loved getting dressed up for Halloween growing up and are a fan of classic turnstile RPGs, then you may find some enjoyment out of this.